emotional fallout that comes before the paperwork is signed. They say love is priceless, but men and women who just whispered I love you to their partners can place a six-figure order with me seconds later. Take right now, for instance. A text from my husband Andrew just lit up my phone. He's asking if I prefer Paris or Singapore for our wedding anniversary. And a second later, a young woman with a delicate pretty face walked into my office. She was timid, gathering her courage before she finally spoke. I'd like to place an order. For my boyfriend, he's decided to divorce his wife. I kept my face neutral and picked up the client intake form, and then I saw the name Andrew Cole. My hand froze for a fraction of a second. The girl across from me had bowed, continued in a small voice. My boyfriend says his wife is a good person, so he doesn't want to hurt her. A dry smile touched my lips. I stared at the photo on the form, at Andrew's face, a face so familiar it somehow become strangers. It was their thought. In my third year as a breakup specialist, I finally received my own case. I set the file down and took a proper look at the girl, Jenna. She wasn't as beautiful as me, merely pretty in a fragile, unassuming way. Slender, she definitely never had a child. She carried an air of inexperience, but her clothes and speech suggested a good education. When she mentioned being the other woman, her eyes darted away. A flicker of what looked like shame. Ms. Thorne, she began, her voice gaining a little confidence. What would you recommend for a situation like mine? My boyfriend said it would be best if the woman initiated the divorce herself. They've been together a long time, you see. It would be awkward. She bit her lip, offering a shy, almost innocent smile. If I wasn't absolutely certain she didn't recognize me, I would have thought she was mocking me to my face. I stretched my lips into a professional smile. Ms. Bird, I said, using her last name from the form. How long have you and he been together? The question seemed to catch her off guard. What? I raised my voice slightly, keeping it steady. Before I can propose a strategy, I need to understand every detail of your relationship. Understanding dawned on her face. She nodded. Her voice is bright and cheerful as a songbird. But with every word she spoke, another piece of my smile chipped away. We've been together for 3 years. We met at the hospital. She blushed, a soft pink dusting her cheeks. His family member was having surgery. Something serious, I think. He was so scared, just smoking in the hallway. I was passing by and well, I said a few words to comfort him. She gave a self-conscious laugh. We got to talking, and less than a week later, he asked me to be his girlfriend. As I listened to her sweet recollection, a sharp, violent pain lanced through my chest. Was the day you met today? I asked, my voice dangerously calm. Her eyes widened in disbelief. Yes, how did you know? I managed a faint smile, my eyelashes trembling as I looked down. Of course I knew, because 3 years ago today, I was at City General, giving birth to my first and only child with Andrew. Doing the math, while he was meeting her in a hospital hallway, I was on an operating table. A difficult labor that turned into an emergency C-section. I had passed out 3 times. The memory, once a testament to my strength, now felt like a dose of slow-acting poison spreading through my veins. I took a silent deep breath and forced myself to ask the next question. Are you aware that he has a child? A daughter. She's 3, just started preschool. Of course, she said. The timidity on her face replaced by a casual shrug. What about it? He's already promised me, she continued, that after the divorce I'll be her new mom. She's just a little kid, you know. They don't really know the difference. Over time she'll accept whoever's there. Don't you think so, Miss Thorne? My knuckles turned white as I gripped the file. I nodded, my voice betraying nothing. Yes, you're right. Too bad you'll never get the chance. My agreement seemed to open the floodgates. She leaned forward, eager to share more, to brag. He even showed me a picture of his wife. She has this long scar on her stomach. It's hideous. He told me himself every time he sees it, it makes him physically sick. She paused, then looked at me conspiratorially. Miss Thorne, what do you think is wrong with that woman? With a scar that ugly, why would she cling to a man who doesn't want her? Is she that desperate for love? A small cruel laugh escaped her lips. I laughed too, but my eyes were glacial. Is it possible that his wife never knew any of this? Jenna raised an eyebrow, her tone absolute. Impossible. He has a physical aversion to her. You'd have to be an idiot not to notice that.